We need to change our tax code so that people like me and an awful lot of members of Congress pay our fair share of taxes.
And they applaud. They stand up to applaud. Well, the Democrats anyway. What good people they must be. They want to pay more in taxes to help those who have less. And intuitively, that seems fair. But it's stupid, says economist Art Laffer. Art, why is it stupid?
Well, you know, it's basically rewarding people for not working and punishing people for working doesn't make a lot of sense to me, frankly. You're going to get a lot of people not working, which is exactly what's happened in the economy today. What we really need to do is to make the poor wealthy. They don't need handouts. You never become prosperous with handouts, John. The only way you can become prosperous is with good, high-paying jobs, and that's what these policies don't do. If you raise tax rates on the rich, honestly, the economy performs less well, not better. And that is exactly the problem with Obama's statements and Warren Buffett's statements and everyone else who's clapping there. They really have a misguided perception of how the world works.
But one of the things they say is that, okay, you can make an argument that handouts make people not work, but we're going to invest the money in all kinds of good things, and that's how we created the Internet. We invested in the intranet, and look at all the wealth that was created from that.
You know, there are some government expenditures really good, and I don't want to knock those expenditures, but when you start having the government pick private investments, I think their record is pretty poor. I mean, you see what's happening with Solyndra and all that sort of stuff, the scandals, the amount of money lost, etc. Government's not good at picking good investments.
But they keep doing it. And let's talk about a couple of those provisions in the tax code that are meant to encourage good things, to make life more fair by encouraging certain behaviors, like the tax deduction for raising livestock, which I guess is supposed to keep us in food. And one result that I was surprised to learn is there are now 150,000 alpacas in America. There used to be 150. We've created an alpaca bubble.
John, you're not going to start going after alpacas now, are you? I am one of the largest breeders of alpaca. No, I'm just teasing you. I'm not. It's silly.
But it works.
Of course it does. You get a lobbyist in there who gets a congressman who does a rider on a bill. These are called earmarks, and they go through and the bill passes, and this type of nonsense gets put in there all over the place. I mean, it's just laden with these things. I hear that some people even get golf carts for free because of tax credits that occurred a couple of years ago. I mean, it's outrageous.
I mean, that one, fortunately,
true,
that one expired. They rarely expire. But in that case, Lee Rangel, my congressman, created this tax credit. We want people to use electric vehicles. And I got these dealers were smart. They said they cost $6,000. The tax credit's $6,000. It's free. I got one, and Mike Huckabee got one. He had a friend who got 7. But these are the distortions that Congress brings us.
I know, isn't it amazing?
The fair tax
I'm very
code.
glad that I'm very glad that you and Mike at least have some advantages from it. I wish I'd have known about it back then. I'd have gotten 7. I mean, look at this other one. Is it fair that the U.S. has the highest corporate tax rate in the industrialized world? Japan, by the way, is lowering their rate on April 1st. Is it fair that Obama sends his kids to private elite schools and the rest of us have to send our kids to public schools? Now, I never did with my kids. They all went to private schools. But a lot of people don't get the choice that they want. And what's unfair about choice? Being forced to join, what's fair about that, and being forced to contribute to political causes you don't like? I mean, these are all things that just make no sense to me. And
me neither, but the other side says, what's fair that you're good looking? What's fair that you had 2 parents who were interested and steered you to a good education? We need to level the playing field.
Have you ever read Kurt Vonnegut's Harrison Bergeron?
Where there was a hampered general. Like an attorney general.
Yes, where you do put smart people get things put in their brain to make them less smart so they're fair. Good-looking people have to wear masks that are ugly. Good athletes have their tendons cut so they can't. It's an amazingly wonderful story by Vonnegut. And, you know, it's where we're headed, John. It's where we're headed. And it's you know, that's the whole reason for you get plastic surgery now covered by Obama. Hello.
Thank you, Art Laffer. Coming up, my take. Lots of people say it's unfair the rich have so much money, but is income the way to measure fairness? What about things like good looks or social skills? How do we judge what is fair?